So in Foundation 6.12, we added support for native share sheets inside buttons and various other elements. So what is a native share sheet? Well, here's a couple examples on the Foundation Stacks demo site, where if you click, you'll notice that it opens up the operating system's share sheet. Now, I'm currently on a Mac, so it's showing the Mac-based system, but if we were on an iOS device, it would actually show from the bottom and show you the actual share sheet from iOS. At that point, you can send messages or AirDrop and all kinds of stuff. And what's interesting is we also added share sheets directly to the picture stack. So if you click and actually trigger a share sheet from a picture stack, the actual image, not just the URL, the actual image will actually be shared. So these are really simple to configure. In all of the Foundation 6 button and link stacks, you'll notice that there is now a checkbox to add a share sheet. Now, in this example, you'll notice that this is a button. There are no URLs affiliated with this particular button. So what this is going to do is actually going to share the current web page that this button resides on. Now, once you turn on this add share sheet, there are options if you want to configure a custom URL. You can actually do a file URL as well, which if you want to share a particular file, not just images like in the picture stack, but if you want to share a file, you can put in the URL to that file, and then that actual file will get downloaded. Now, you can't currently share both a URL and a file. It needs to be one or the other. Okay, so you need to choose that. Now, I don't recommend doing very large files because, well, those files have to be downloaded and then shared. So I would definitely recommend, not sharing huge, large files with this. Next is title and text, and these are used various different ways depending on the share action that you trigger. So maybe play around with those to kind of see how they affect and how they are shared via the actions that you want to utilize with this. Now, this last setting here, you'll notice that it says show on non-supported browsers. Now, by default, if a browser does not support a share sheet, for example, Chrome and Firefox on Mac do not support share sheets, but Safari does, but Chrome and Firefox on iOS do. So by default, this button would be hidden for all browsers that do not support the native share sheet. But if you don't want that behavior, just simply check this show on unsupported browsers, and then this button will always be displayed. Here's a perfect example of that. Here I have a link to Share Foundation 6. And if we notice here, it is an actual link button that is linking to a web page. So because I've defined a link in this button, this URL that is inside the link will be shared, not the URL of the web page. And then I don't need to define a URL here because I defined a URL in my link. And then I've defined some text that will be shared along with the URL. And then here I've said always display this. Now, why this is useful on devices such as Safari on Mac or browsers on iOS, it will show the share sheet. But on Mac for Chrome and Firefox, this will just behave like a normal link button. And when a user clicks on it, it'll take them to the URL. So let's show you a quick example of how share sheets are used with the picture stack. So here I just have a normal picture stack, and all I've done is I've clicked add share sheet, and that's it. Now, what this will do is it will actually look for the alt tag. So if you define an alt tag, it will actually get that and send that along with the image. So as text. So if we're emailing this image, it'll actually attach the image and then put this text along with the email. Or if you were text messaging it, it would do the same thing. But what's cool with this is you can actually AirDrop these photos directly from a web page to another user. And then that particular image is actually saved to their photo library, which is really cool. So along with this, there is actually also a utility class for share sheets. So all you need to do is add the share sheet class, and then you can actually add share sheets to anything you want. And if you want to customize it, basically you can actually provide custom HTML attributes, data URL, title, text, and file to those elements. And then those particular attributes, just like we saw in the button, will be utilized there. There's also a couple special classes here for share sheet no hide and share sheet auto hide in terms of controlling whether or not the share sheet will actually be hidden or displayed on non-supported browsers.